They do have a jamming stage, or street corner or something of that sort. But it's very different from Clearwater. And I've never been to Falcon Ridge, although Rev has.
I have. I've been to
And
Falcon Ridge.
Is Falcon Ridge like Old Songs?
Not exactly. It has its own character. Falcon Ridge is its own thing, and I enjoyed it very much. And I also enjoyed the other one, the other festival that's located in that same place near Connecticut, the Connecticut border. It's a bluegrass festival, basically, and it's a lot of fun. It's pretty funky, like most folk festivals are. It didn't seem to have a lot of participatory activities in it, but it was still a good festival.
My wanting to start a folk festival was, first of all, I guess I must get rest, because I keep saying that I want to live a quiet life. And then this idea comes along, or somebody brings me this idea, and I say, no, I couldn't possibly do that, except if we did it, we'd have to do it this way, etc.
And let's face it, knowing the moose, he's never going to live a quiet life. It's just not possible. For those astrology buffs out there, the moose is a quadruple Aries. If that means something to you, you're going to chuckle. If it doesn't, it's just going to be, well, what is that all about? But for the non-astrology listeners, watchers, Aries is known as the ram, and it's known as a fire sign of all the elements, fire, air, earth, and water. It's a fire sign, and Aries individuals are purportedly known for charging ahead and for being very energetic, for starting things. They may not always finish them, but Aries are definitely starters, and they're definitely high energy people. Even when they've got an oxygen tank trailing behind them, they're still starters.
My metaphor for myself is the Polish cavalry, because my father was Polish, and my mother is 100% Irish Catholic, and Dad was half Polish, half Russian. And he stopped talking when I was 5, because he obviously concluded Mom had that end of things covered, and he couldn't get a word in edgewise anyway. But he was a very kind, well-respected person in the rest of the community. And it wasn't until his funeral that when I spoke at his funeral, that I realized my whole life, when I would ask my dad for advice, he would say, Michael, you do what you think is right, and I'll back you 100%. And he said that when I was 8 years old, and he said that when I was 48 years old. And I couldn't account for, there's a part of me that has an absolute hatred for bullying and lying and tyranny of any sort. And I have an instantaneous, uncontrollable reaction to it. And I finally realized that I don't know how much to really place on DNA and how much to place on culture. In 1939, when the tanks crossed the Polish border, it was Polish cavalry on guard on the border, and they'd never seen tanks before, and the horses had never seen tanks. And they said, this doesn't look promising, but this is our job. We're the Polish cavalry, and we charge. Bring me my lance, bring me my horse, we charge. And they did. And they took 60 to 80% casualties. And that's very much the way I am, which is, if there's something going on that I know in my bones is not right, I charge. And we won't get into that, but that had something to do with how Rev and I got together. Rev is also very much the same way.
In my own fashion.
Yeah. So I mean,
I am a social worker, so I do it in a different style.
Except at the San Francisco airport.
Well, we won't talk about the San Francisco
Yes, we will.
or the, things that I've challenged. I have been a whistleblower. Sometimes you have to be a whistleblower. Sometimes there's an injustice. And when it's sitting in front of your face, what else can you do but challenge it?